this video, I'm going to share with you how we helped one of our clients, Anthony Rodriguez, go from 300 followers to 3,000 followers and now makes over $10,000 a month coaching athletes all online. So this document is dedicated to document the transformation Anthony Rodriguez had while working with us inside our program, the Remote Training Mastermind, where we help sports coaches expand their training businesses online by leveraging social media and online training. And this is how Anthony went from training no athletes online, grinding it out in person, spinning his tires, to now making $10,000 a month coaching athletes all online. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Nick Neville. I'm the founder of Just Coach, where we help sports coaches achieve time and financial freedom by leveraging social media and online training. And it's my mission to help as many sports coaches expand their training businesses as possible to provide athletes in need with quality training programs. Background about me: I'm a former Division I baseball player turned corporate desk jockey. I worked in corporate America for a year before starting my own remote training business with an old teammate. And we started and scaled our remote training business to doing over $20,000 in the first 30 days. And we continued on to make over 250 grand in our first 10 months of business. Yes, $250,000 in 10 months, training athletes online out of a backyard, strictly just from our laptops, okay? And so I love training athletes, but as we grew, I got more and more questions about how we were doing what we were doing. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I could impact way more people if I started teaching coaches how to train more athletes. And so I went all in on this company, Just Coach, and we've since worked with over 140 coaches since we started, including some of the biggest names in the online sports training space, like Ian Jenkins, Drew Richard, Evan Mendoza, Lucas Kephart, Jordan Kennedy, Connected Performance, Elite Recruits, etc. Between all of them, they probably do about $500,000 a month training athletes all online. So I've worked with some really, really big people, and I actually know what I'm doing. I've done this myself. And so this is just one instance where Anthony came to us and he wanted to expand his training business online, right? He's a pitching coach with an intense work ethic and thirst for knowledge. He's a former Division I pitcher who has pretty much dedicated his entire life to figuring out why he wasn't throwing as hard as he wanted to and to help the younger version of him, right? And so when he first came to us, he was training athletes in person. He was posting a lot of content, but he had basically zero social growth. He had maybe 300 Instagram followers. I'm trying to say that not to be disrespectful to him. But yeah, he wasn't very good at content. And he was trying to do online training, but he had no structure to it. He knew that it was possible, but he was really, really driven by getting results for his athletes, right? He's a really good coach, and at the end of the day, all he wanted was to figure out how he could scale his training business online so he could impact more athletes. And so he was posting content, he was investing in himself, he loves to read, educate himself and improve, things like that. He, has bought courses on how to, train athletes better. He got an internship at a really big remote training company out in North Carolina, studied them, learned from them, reads tons of books, the whole 9 yards. He's super hungry and thirsty for knowledge, right? And that's obviously one of his strengths, is that he's thirsty for knowledge right here. And he was never afraid to ask questions to help him understand and learn more. He already knew how to program his athletes to get results. He's a really good coach, super passionate about it, really, really hard worker. And above all else, he really believed in himself. He knew that he could really take off in his business. He just didn't know what to do or how to get there. He'd been watching my free content for 2, 3, 4 months and had made some progress, but not a ton. And eventually he just DM'd me one day. He's like, all right, bro, you got me. Like, let's do this. And so we hopped on a call. We got him onboarded and enrolled into the program. And immediately right away, here's what we determined were areas for improvement, right? So number one, he didn't really have a marketing strategy, okay? He didn't have a real plan to grow and nurture his audience. He was, following a content calendar, which some people think, I guess, like that automatically guarantees that you're going to grow. Like if you just plan when you're going to post, which is absolutely ridiculous. He wasn't booking any sales meetings, right? So you can't make sales if you don't have opportunities to sell. And newsflash, by the way, you cannot grow a business if you do not make sales. And so he wasn't booking any sales meetings, which means, guess what? He couldn't grow his business, right? And at the same time as well, he needed a mindset shift in sales because he was afraid to sell people, right? He had a terrible mindset about sales. He had such a negative connotation with the word because most of the time we grow up in life thinking that sales are this absolutely terrible thing and nobody likes to be sold. But at the end of the day, sales drive economy. Sales are what makes the world go round. And sales are the only way that he could actually get people to train with him because he's so convicted that he can help people, but he was afraid to be salesy, quote unquote, to actually help people get into his program. The only way that you can train people is if you sell them into your program, right? And some people need a push. So the things that we implemented, number one, We changed his marketing strategy, right? So most people just want to post drills out there, or like they have a content calendar and think magically like that's my marketing strategy, okay? That couldn't be further from the truth. What we teach in our program is called belief shifting content. So essentially you want to look at who you want to work with, who you want to train, who is going to get the best results in your program, and think about what are the mindset shifts or what are the mindsets that these people hold that are preventing them from working with us, right? So a lot of people think that, you know, selling things in general is all about convincing people of doing something that they don't want to do, right? That's what they think sales is. But that's not what sales is. That's not what marketing is. The difference between, you know, persuasion and manipulation is the intent behind it, right? And he knew that he could really, really, really help out a ton of people. And so we just needed to change the way that he saw marketing and sales, right? And so what we did is we started attacking the beliefs that his prospects were having. Like a lot of people were in his DMs saying like, oh, like we don't think online training is beneficial. Or, you know, what I'm doing right now is actually good enough and is going to get me to where I want to be. And so what we did is we started creating content, right? We started advising him to create content that changed, that attacked those beliefs that people had, right? So for example, if somebody said online training doesn't work, I'd just be like, bro, make a video about why online training is better than in person. Or if somebody said like, hey, what I'm doing right now is good enough, I'd be like, dude, just make a video about why what they're doing right now is not good enough. Because most of these kids are baseball players who are nowhere close to getting the opportunities that they want. And, you know, they're not necessarily delusional. They've just never been told before that, hey, you're not good enough right now. You're not good enough to get to your goals. And so we taught him to start tackling those beliefs in his marketing. So that way, when he got to the sales conversation, it was about him being the one to help them, right? Him being the source of information rather than them trying on their own. Right? That was another belief that people had, is that they could try it on their own, right? That they could do this on their own. And as you probably know, most athletes cannot figure it out on their own. They need a coach, right? Just like if you're a coach right now and you think you can figure out this online stuff on your own, that's what Anthony thought too. And then he came to us and now he makes $10,000 a month. So something for you to think about if you're watching this, right? So once we changed his marketing strategy, he started gaining tons and tons and tons of new followers, and he started getting inbound DMs. But when you get inbound DMs, you can't just assume that, you know, they want to pay you, right? And so that's exactly what he was doing. They would come into his DMs and he was just way too direct, like pretty much like, hey, this is the price of the program, let's go. Like he was a little bit bitter when people would ask him questions because he thought that just because they DM'd him that they should pay for his program, right? And that's obviously not true, but it's a belief that a lot of people hold. So we had to break that belief and change his DM game to give a question-based framework. And we gave him a DM script to follow, essentially where, you know, you figure out where the person is right now, where they want to get to, and what's the gap, and then we can go ahead and pitch a call. And, you know, on that call, we can talk about actually working together and what that's going to look like, right? And so once we changed his DM game, we worked a ton. He got on our group calls. He got into our program. You know, he asked me a bunch of questions. He asked my team a bunch of questions. Everybody in the community a bunch of questions. Got really, really, really good at DMs. He started booking a ton of calls. But then, once he started booking a ton of calls, guess what? He had a sales problem because he would get on the phone with these people and just try and shove his program down people's throats. And that never works, okay? Sales is about getting people to tell you what their problems are and then positioning what you have to sell as the solution to their problem, right? And if what you do actually can help them solve their problem and get them to where they want to be, then you have a moral obligation to sell them into your program, okay? And that was the mindset shift that Anthony needed to make. He didn't want to convince people to join his program. And I was like, okay, bro, well then have fun being broke. Have fun making no sales, okay? Because you need to be persuasive in order to get what you want in this life. Okay, and so we needed to change the way he thought about sales. Instead of shoving his program down people's throats and being like, you need my help, getting them to reveal their pain points and then going, my program is going to solve those problems through 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, right? And once we started doing that, he started closing way more deals. And after 4 months, he gained over 3,000 followers on Instagram. He now makes $10,000 a month training athletes online. And he loves taking sales calls with athletes because he gets to hold athletes accountable to the goals that they say that they have, and then has the opportunity to absolutely change their lives, right? He gets insane results from his athletes. He is a really, really good coach. He just had to change his perspective on marketing and sales and getting more people into his program so that he could actually, change more lives, touch more athletes, have a bigger impact. Okay? Most people have a terrible mindset about what marketing and sales is. They think it's all about, manipulating people, but that's not it. It's just showing people that what you have to offer is going to help solve their problems, right? And so now he's building the foundations to create a true online training company. He wants to continue to grow his company to reach as many athletes as he possibly can, because quite frankly, he does things a little bit differently with his training, and he gets really, really good results, and he wants to show people out there that there's a different way than the mainstream, right? So he's currently building out a team and more systems to continue to scale, and he works with us in our upper level program where we help clients go, past $10,000 a month to scale past, $20,000, $30,000 a month with a team. We have a handful of clients that we work very, very closely with where it's, a little bit more intimate, right? But you can find Anthony by going on his Instagram, Versatile Athletics Co. on Instagram, Versatile Athletics Co. on YouTube. So you can go ahead, check out what he's doing, maybe try and copy him or reach out to him, see what he's done. But if you want to, implement this type of stuff, and if you want our help directly, helping you create a marketing message, creating, an audience on Instagram to sell to, how to sell that audience, how to charge high prices. Anthony charges $1,800 for 4 months. He used to charge month to month like $300 a month. Now he gets paid in fulls. And that's what's allowing him to really get the buy-in from those athletes, right? And so Anthony's life has been pretty much completely changed since he joined our program. We also have a testimonial video of him talking about this. It's on my YouTube channel. So if you want to go check that out as well, all this stuff is real. A lot of people think this is way too good to be true. So if you aren't sold, then go ahead, go check out our YouTube video. Or if you want to work with us directly, then go ahead, book a call to speak with me or my team. We'll walk through your entire situation on that call, and if we believe that we can help you, we'll make you an offer and show you the roadmap to success within our program. So you can go ahead and book in a call with us. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're a sports coach and you are trying to expand your training business online, then we want to help you. It is our mission to help as many sports coaches as possible expand, reach more athletes, and honestly show you that there's a way different way than just selling your time for $100 an hour, or $80 an hour, whatever you charge for your hourly rate. There's a way better way to do things. You can help way more athletes. You can make way more money and provide them a higher level of service. This is where the world is going to. So you can either adapt now and get ahead, or get left behind by people like Anthony. So if you're a sports coach and you want our help directly implementing this and actually learning about the remote training profit path, how you can add, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month training athletes online, go ahead, book in a call with me or my team. We're looking forward to speaking with you soon.